Have you heard all the reasons to consider a Mustang Mach-E for your next EV? We're going to cover 10 reasons why you might want to consider this car over some of the competition. Hello and welcome back to Gears and Tech. Here are the 10 reasons why you might want to consider a Mustang Mach-E for your next EV purchase. This is our personal car, and these are reasons that we specifically used to decide for this car versus those other guys. Now, the first reason you might want to consider a Mach-E is the range. With an impressive 300 plus miles of range, this car is one of the top cars that you can get with proper configuration to go as far as possible between charges. Add to that the recently discovered news that is the Tesla and the EPA range on cars like Tesla, it actually doesn't reach the EPA rating. Whereas this Mach-E, we've owned this for about a month now, and we are actually getting more than the rated EPA range on this Mach-E. So some manufacturers are kind of doing some trickery to get a higher range estimate. Ford is actually much more realistic in that you should be able to get the range that they say. Now, to get that range, you have to get the California Special with the long range battery. This particular one does not have the long range battery, so we're getting a little bit less range, but is still an acceptable amount of range. So you can kind of go on the budget side of your build and still get really great range in an EV to where you can do everything that you typically would want to do. Before we get too far into this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below. If you've seen some of our content already and have not subscribed, we want you to join our community. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's get back to the video. The next thing obviously is performance. Now, this car being the premium model, it is all-wheel drive premium. That means it does about 340 horsepower and it goes 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds flat. Now, this is a budget car. This particular one retails for about 55,000 US dollars. You can get it for a little bit more, a little less, depending on your region and the availability. But for $55,000, a 0 to 60 5-second car, that is performance that, you know, you're not gonna win a race against many of the other EVs out there. And it's been proven online that this is not the fastest EV, but when compared to other gasoline engines, this is very, very quick on the street, and it is blisteringly fast. If you upgrade to the GT performance model, that performance goes further to become a 3.5 second car. That is supercar range. You're getting a supercar for under 60,000 US dollars. Next up is the aesthetics. Now, this car is a really good looking car. I've always thought it was good looking, and this totally backs it up. It does have the Mustang name, which is debatable if it truly is a pony car, but like the name or not, the visuals of this car is really good. In fact, when we were comparing this to a Tesla, that was what we were looking at, a Model Y. The Model Y is so ugly. I think Elon Musk lost a bet and had to make all of his electric cars as ugly as possible just to see if people would buy them, but this was not made ugly. In fact, it looks most like a typical car that you would see on the road. The only thing that gives it away that this might be electric is the fact that the front grille is pretty much solid. It's missing. That's because we don't need a big front grille to let air in to cool the typical internal combustion engine. So the only grille you get are down here with these adjustable louvers that actually open up. They do run a radiator to help cool the motors, but this flat front does give away that something's unique about this car. Obviously, we can't talk about the highlights of a Mustang Mach-E without talking about the interior. The interior is most like a car that you would be used to. So it has physical buttons, it has really nice styling, it carries on the Mustang tradition with the way that the dash is oriented. The seats are comfortable. It does have premium vegan leather. That means it's fake leather, or from my generation, we call it pleather, but it is comfortable to sit in and to use. Obviously, while we're talking about the interior, we have to talk about the technology. It has an over 15-inch front center screen, which is where it controls most of your features, your climate control, your stereo, your sat nav. All of that stuff is inside this giant touchscreen. It's done in an intuitive way, and through future updates, they can always change and improve on more features of that touchscreen. It also has a 360 camera, it has adaptive cruise control, and it has Blue Cruise, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. Actually, let's just talk about the Blue Cruise right now. So Blue Cruise, if you're not familiar, is basically full driving on the highway. It's automatic mode. It is totally hands-free cruising on the highway. Now, it is only active in specific regions of the world that are specifically unlocked for green cruising technology. So in my part of the world, we're based around Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Most of the highways around Calgary have been approved, if you will, for Blue Cruise, which means we can actually turn it on and the car will drive itself. We can go totally hands-free. You don't have to touch the steering wheel at all. You don't touch the gas pedal. It just keeps the flow of the traffic. It'll watch for speed limit changes, just watching the signs on the side of the road, and adjust your speed accordingly. If you want to switch lanes, all you have to do is flip the signal light. It will shoulder check for you and actually switch lanes to the other lane. It is full hands-free self-driving in select areas. When you're not in those select areas, it does have a very advanced adaptive cruise control, so you still have to have your hands on the wheel for that cruise control to work. However, it is still very, very close to hands-free. You don't have your foot on the pedal. It'll adapt up and down based on the traffic around you. You do have to do lane changes on your own, but otherwise it will keep you in that lane more or less, but you do get annoying nags to keep your hands on the wheel and keep your focus forward. Next, we got to talk about the different versions that are available. There's 4 different versions. There's the base model, there's the premium all-wheel drive, there's the GT model, and there's the California Special. There's also different versions within those variations. So you can get all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, you can get regular range battery, you can get extended range battery. So you can kind of beef up each of those ones that you get, but they do start with 4 base models or 4 starting points that you can build on from there. This particular one is the Mach-E Premium all-wheel drive with standard range battery. It is a beautiful color, this beautiful, beautiful blue. It is the perfect balance of price, performance, and features. But don't be alarmed, you can go up, and there are rumors that there will be a Shelby Mustang Cobra in this as well, which would start life as a GT and then get certain performance enhancements from there. There's also an impressive amount of safety features built into this car. It has adaptive cruise control, so it'll adjust your speed based on the car in front of you. It has lane keep assist, so if you are going out of your lane, it will actually bring you back in. That is adjustable, so you can tell it to actually bring you back into the lane or just vibrate the steering wheel so that you know you're going out of the lane, or you can turn it completely off. It has blind spot detection, so it tells you if there's a car in your blind spot. And it has pre-collision alerts where it will actually try to stop you before you go into a collision situation. When you're backing up, if you get too close or back up too quickly, it'll actually stop the car so that you don't run into things. It's very good. And, you know, a side note, I am a little worried about humanity because as we learn to get comfortable with this technology, we might end up being worse drivers for this. But for now, it does make you a lot safer. Now, obviously, number 9 is the ample storage in the back. You can see we've got a power lift gate. We've got typical storage that you would expect of a small SUV. It's big enough, and I know this, to fit 2 giant Akita dogs in the back here. You won't fit much else, but as you can see here, we've got enough room to keep whatever you would need to store for your typical size family out on a daily drive somewhere. If you're doing a long road trip, maybe this is going to be a little bit tight. You can always add a roof rack. Or there is another trick up its sleeve up in the front here. If I just use my app to pop the hood, We've got what everyone in the industry knows as a frunk, or a front trunk. Since this does not have an internal combustion engine in this area, you actually have this weatherproof area where you can store any items you want. Now, I usually keep a tool bag in here or take my day luggage with me when I'm going places. It does have a weather seal here to keep the elements out. There are some vents here, so if you drive through a puddle that comes up over the hood, you will get the items in here wet. However, if you're not driving through a puddle that's at least 3 feet deep, your belongings inside here should stay extremely dry and protected from the elements. And of course, the final note that everybody's always worried about is the resale value. Currently, the resale value of the Mach-E is quite high. So even if you do go and buy a brand new one off the lot and drive it away, you're not going to take a massive depreciation hit. In fact, used Mach-E's in my area are selling for only about $10,000 less than the brand new ones. So that's excellent news for those of you who are going to make the plunge now to buy this car. It is a well-sorted car, even though it is a first generation EV for a manufacturer, for Ford in this case. It is a very well put together car, so you don't have to worry about some of those problems that other manufacturers are dealing with as they try to figure out this whole new EV space. So what do you think? Do you have a Mustang? Do you have a Mach-E? Do you have a different EV? Did we miss anything? Post in the comments down below. I'd love to start the conversation on this car, what you love about your Mach-E or your other EVs. Maybe we missed something. Maybe there's something else that we need to talk about. Maybe we need a second video with 10 more things that everybody loves about their Mach-E. Stay tuned for more Mach-E videos because this car is going on an extended use test for us, and we're going to report all about it throughout the history of this car. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. We hope you enjoy the content in this video, and we'd love to have you come back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And for those subscribers who are looking for that extra special thing that you can do to support this channel, consider joining our members group. That's where we're building this community, the Gears and Tech community, where we can all enjoy content together. You'll get special perks, which we'd love for you to check out by clicking the link down below. For those of you who are just happy to watch the video, that's okay too. You can check out some of our other content right over here, where we've got some previous videos that have already been uploaded and enjoyed by many of our viewers already. We do hope to see you again. This has been Gears and Tech. Have a great day.